Hey everyone, welcome to another MLM Dumpster Fire. Today we're back to watch a video from Jo from Monat. She's one of the top reps in Monat. I have covered Jo plenty of times in the past because I don't know, I just find her videos very entertaining. Usually she does this thing where she is interviewing other top leaders in Monat, and usually their best advice is just do it, just leap into it. So I always enjoy watching Jo's videos. Before we get into it, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. That's a nice free way that you can support my channel if you would like. And as always, big shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for being here. Let's just get right into this. It's a bit lengthy, so we're just gonna jump right in.
Oh my God, it has been a crazy day. I'm like, these 8:30 calls, I love them, but at the same time, I hate them because then I'm so fired up when we're done and I can't go to sleep. But anyway, it is almost end of month. We've been having a great month so far. And as Angie and I were talking about what we should, talk about on this call and talking about our teams and the new people that are joining us and the people that have been here a while and maybe haven't found results. And then all of that kind of mixed in with where I am in my business today and a book that I am reading. I said, Angie, I know what we're going to talk about. And we need to talk about the one thing that can make you successful in this business or in any business, and the one thing that also will break you. Okay. And it's something so simple, but it's something that a lot of us don't know, or we don't have very clear, or we're not even aware that it's so important. And that is finding our purpose. Okay. Stay with me. I know you're probably like, I know my purpose, I know my why, I have a vision. Yes, you have it to a certain extent because you're here, right? You joined, you signed up. But then what? It goes so much further than that. And I can tell you guys that I probably didn't really understand this until 5.5 years later in my business, which is where I am today. Because I've gone through my ups, I've gone through my downs. I just revived my business. And the one thing that did it for me is I refound my purpose. I remembered and I explored and I found out again, once more, why I am doing this business.
So, in my opinion, she is obviously, we all know if you're a part of anti-MLM movement, you know that Monat is sinking, and Monat has been sinking for a while now. And I feel like these top leaders in Monat are really desperate. People are leaving, so many people left already. Like I said, it's not doing great, it's seen better days. And their paychecks are affected by all of this. So they, in my opinion, these top Monat leaders, including Jo here, have gotten a little bit desperate. So now, what is the best way to try and motivate your downline? Well, remind them of what is their why. So why did you join this company? Why did you join Monat? Is it because you want to stay at home with your kids? Is it because you need more money? Is it because la 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 la? So the best way for Jo to try and prevent these people from leaving Monat, leaving her team, which is going to affect her paycheck, is to remind them why they joined. Because if you remind them, in my opinion, of what is their why, it's easier to manipulate them into staying and keep working this business, even though Monat is sinking and even though the majority of them are not making any profits. So that's my opinion on what's going to happen here.
Okay. A lot of you join. Drop in the chat really quick. Why did you join Monat? And there's no right or wrong answer. I just kind of want to get a feel for what we're talking about, who I'm talking to. I'll tell you guys why I joined. I joined because I had no money. I was literally negative in my bank account. I had $70,000 in credit card debt, and I was just sick and tired of having my dad pay for everything. So a lot of us joined for money, to be present with our kids, extra savings, extra income for the freedom, growth, community, new mom for the trainings, escape my 9 to 5. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty sad to hear. I mean, it's not surprising. All of these are the most common reasons why people join an MLM. But when you take a look at the income disclosure statement from Monat, which is going to be linked in the description box below, by the way, you'll see that the majority of these people don't make any profit. And they never will, because the business model is set up so that the majority of people are going to fail and only top 1% or less get all the money, which Jo is at the top of Monat, so she earns money, but most people in her downline don't, and they never will.
Now it's going fast. So these are all very superficial reasons why we joined. This is only enough to get us to buy our product pack. This is only enough to get us
Be present with your kids is a superficial reason. Okay.
enough to get us to get on a couple calls a month, to do a couple reach outs, and to do a couple posts. None of these reasons, even me with my $70,000 in credit card debt, none of that is enough to really keep you going, to really grow a substantial, sustainable business. Okay. I say that why? Because I just lived it myself. So after 3.5 years of my business, a lot of personal stuff going on, and then great things happening. I got pregnant, I got in a new relationship. I kind of distanced myself a little bit. I never stopped working my business ever. Never did I stop working my business, but I felt a little bit disconnected. I felt a little bit like I remember I would tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, I'm doing the same thing every day. Like it gets a little boring. And he's like, that's such a blessing. Like, you know how many people wish they could say, I do the same thing every day and I'm making X amount of money, millions a year. And I just couldn't connect to it, right?
She just couldn't leave it at X amount of money. She just had to throw in there that she's making millions per year doing this business. Like, yeah, you, Joe, maybe you. What about the majority of people in your downline? You are earning your millions because of their hard work. Because we've seen, and this was 2-3 years ago at this point, with the leaked Monat documents. If you know, you know. If you saw it, you saw it. The majority of these leaders in Monat, I think it was 80 or 90% of their income was from their downline. You're earning millions because your downline is working hard. They are working, not profiting, and you're reaping all the benefits off of their hard work. It's such an unethical business model. I hate it.
Right? I knew I loved money. I loved my business. I loved my team. I loved the income. I loved the freedom. But
Of course, you fucking love the income. You're earning millions. Oh my God. Why am I cranky today? I don't know. My cat is sick and I'm cranky.
something was missing. And I tried it all, guys. I tried reading the book, getting on the call. I would start a new month. I would start a new Monday. And I'm like, that's it. It's time to be consistent again. Like I stopped posting on Instagram. I stopped doing this. And I would start and I would last a week. And then I would just dwindle down. And I'm like, it's so hard to think about content to post. It's so hard to like go live. It's so hard to host a team call. And it started feeling like a drag. And when I started Monat, it did not feel like a drag. And when I started Monat, I was new. I had no experience. I was very insecure. Like we're talking about Joe is here right now. When I started Monat, I was here. But why when I started Monat, I was doing better. I had more drive, I had more ambition, I had more energy, I had more motivation. It's simply because I had a purpose. I knew why I was doing what I was doing, and I knew what I was willing to do to achieve that. And through the years, through my success, through life distractions, I lost my purpose. I got distracted. I had 500 things in my mind, and I simply forgot the love and the passion that I have for this business, for the results it gives me, for the results it gives my family, for how it can change my life. So what we've been seeing throughout all our time in Monat, old girls, new girls, and if you're new, this may be like a little heavy call, but I'd rather you hear it now than
I always say this. I hate when she calls her downline girls, but the fact that she just said old girls, I can't.
hear it 5 years down the line like I heard it. You need to really find out why you are doing this. Okay? And you need to get deep. So I'm actually reading this book in my book club. It's called Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. And I am like, wow, where was this book like 5 years ago? Because it talks about just being obsessed with whatever it is that you want to be obsessed about. And when I started, I was so obsessed, guys, and so many people called me crazy, and my family thought I was crazy and I was delusional. But let's be real. if you want to stand out at anything you do, you need to be obsessed with it. Think about your kids. For those of you that have kids, aren't you so freaking obsessed with your kid? You sound ridiculous doing baby talk. I had people working in my house today, and I was literally on the floor with my baby. Like the two guys were like, this lady has like no job. You're obsessed. You don't freaking care. I don't care who hears me do baby talk, who cares, like sees me take
Why are you comparing being obsessed with your child to an MLM company?
like silly pictures of him. I'm obsessed with my kids. What are you obsessed with that you unapologetically, whatever, will, will work for, will brag about your husband, your house, your
My cats.
family, your kids. But then we are not obsessed with, you don't have to be obsessed with Monat. Okay. You don't have to be obsessed with Monat. You have to be obsessed with where you want to go. So, Angie, I'm like going, interrupt me. I just, I mean, I have some things that I want to share from the book, but I haven't
No,
even
I
like
mean,
said hi.
no, you're hitting all the right points. I don't wanna interrupt your what is it, your rhythm, the momentum you got going on right now. Then there's not much I can add to that except for exactly everything that she's saying. We all go through the hurdles, right? The bad stuff, the good stuff, but nothing grows in your comfort zone, you guys. And I remember I had that conviction when I in myself, like when I started that I had to do something. And I feel like it's because, all of us, some of us have a plan, we have daily lives, but I feel like when we really put this in the forefront of where is it that we want to go and we want to build for ourselves. And sometimes it's really hard to see that early on because you're like, but I don't know if I can ever do that. And I was there once too, but I feel like if we always celebrate the small wins, like going live for the very first time, speaking to someone for the very first time. If you guys can get a VIP one time, you can do it 100 times over. And I was talking with Liz the other day because I too lost myself a little bit, in the past year or so. And I've been trying to find myself, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, like, what's going on? And why am I being so hard? Why can't I have that passion again? Why can't I show up? And I literally went back on my social media content to try and figure out how can I change things up. And I realized that I stopped being bold. I literally stopped. I noticed my content and I was like, my content is not the person that I once was. I was empowering. I was passionate. I was empowered. I was so excited to look for the next person that I just wanted to help. But all this time, I quickly start letting that light dim just because, my team started dying down, just because my checks went lower, just because I don't know, I lost the vision within myself, but I forgot that, we have to go through these ups and downs. And at the end of the day, we need the pressure to help us build a better version of ourselves, right? At the end of the day, pressure builds, what is it? Pressure makes diamonds, right? So many people want that fast, easy, automatic, no pressure. Everything is okay. Take your time. But the problem with that is that it's all about, instant gratification. There's no such thing as that, right? We're not supposed to look at everything as it should be easy and quick and fast. And that's not the reality of it, right? Things take time and good things take time. It took us a long time to get to where we are, but doesn't mean that it's something we can ride along the whole time. Like we have to stay there and you have to build it every single time. And just remember that, like, anything is possible. And I did a live recently and I was literally crying like a little baby Kim Kardashian, but it hit me. I was like, the one thing that I was working towards, it was something so small that for a lot of people is not a big deal, but for me it was like what started out as like I just wanted $200 for shoes. And you guys have to see it in that sense. Like sometimes I feel like we build these huge visions, which is fine, but what is going to get you to that big vision, right? I feel like so many of us are stuck to like, oh, I didn't make $2,000 in my first month, but you forget that it's about building it up, right? Like my first paycheck ever was only $13 and I started building it up and I started building it up little by little until I got my very first bank account thanks to money. And that was like my first huge, win for me, right? So I don't know, I'm like all over the place with this, but I'm just saying like celebrate those small wins and you're going to start realizing like what the potential of what this business can do, but you also have to put in the work. You have to get out there. You have to get uncomfortable.
You have to take a look at the income disclosure statement, which is clearly going to show you that the majority of people never profit in MLM. It doesn't matter how much work or effort you put into it. If the business model is set up so that the majority of people fail, you don't have a big following on social media, and you're joining Monat, which is an oversaturated MLM company, you have 99% of chances of never making any profit either. So it doesn't matter how much work you put in. This business, you're never going to profit from it. It's also not your own business. It's not your small business. You're not your own boss. You're just joining as an independent contractor. And again, Monat income disclosure statement is going to be linked in the description box below. You can take a look at it and you're going to see that the majority of people are just not profiting from it. So what small victories should people celebrate if they are working for free?
Uncomfortable, right? We're always looking for like this easy route, but there's no such thing as easy when it comes to that, right? Like what is that? You know, that makes us just seek comfort over seeking pressure. But we have to seek the pressure each and every single time, because you're not going to be able to develop the skills that you need to build the life that you guys want without being uncomfortable, right? Being uncomfortable in the pressure, like you have to get out there and do it. So, like I said, I was crying on my IG live and I was okay. Like, then I realized what I can do. Like, I was trying so hard to not go back to corporate and continue. Like, I was with my third baby and I was just like, I longed for, like, I was freaking petrified of going to corporate. And here I am celebrating my baby's 5th birthday and I never had to go back to corporate. And I'm a room mom. And like, there's so many different things to be, thankful for.
I sense a little bit of mom shaming, like working mom shaming or working parent shaming, because some people choose to go back to corporate after having kids, and that's totally okay. You don't have to be with your kids 24/7. I really don't like how these, especially this team, like Joe and Angela, and anyone else really who joins their trainings, they usually tend to shame working parents in this way. Like they're like, oh, I celebrated my daughter. You can celebrate your child's birthday even though you work a 9 to 5. It's okay if you want to go back to work after having kids. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to stay at home. We should not shame other people's choices when it comes to parenting.
Thankful for. So it's just like, what does success look like to you? And it doesn't always have to tie to, the Cadillac, to the monetary thing, but have that vision and that purpose of what it's going to do for you and your future. So embrace the pressure, guys, because again, pressure creates diamonds. And if you constantly want to avoid conflicts or the problems, you're never going to be able to do the critical thinking necessary to be able to develop the solutions to your problems that are already in your business and in your life. Do you want to add to that, Joe?
Yes, I love that. And yes, that live was great, Angie, because like it made me feel the feelings that you were feeling. And I want to talk about like obsessions, right? Because we could be obsessed with bad things, but we could also be obsessed with good things. And Grant covers this in the book, and I'm gonna read some parts from it because it's that good. If you're in the book club, we're seeing this over, okay? Repetition is key. But also really quick before I get into that, Angie mentioned about how it can take time. And I want to remind you guys of this, because every single person that joins Monat, we all have a different background. We all come from different experiences. We've all gone through different things in life. I want you guys to understand, even if it's your first day, I think I have one of my girls that literally just joined. I had her get on this call. Even if it's your first day, everyone has different results. Okay, so Monat, it's more than selling shampoo and
I mean, I would argue by saying that the majority of people have the same results probably at the end of the day, and that's not making any profit with this business. And that is shown in the income disclosure statement as well.
shampoo and selling skincare, then getting a paycheck. Monat is literally personal development. It's growth. It's breakthroughs. It's breaking barriers.
Yeah, but you don't get paid for personal development. You get paid if you sell or recruit. So there's that.
And all of that goes hand in hand with your success. It's more than getting a VIP and getting a market partner, right? So for someone that maybe joins and you're 6 months in, 3 months in, a year in, and you are not getting, or you have not gotten the success that you thought you were going to get, which by the way, you only thought of this success because you compared yourself to someone else. If you're going to compare your success or lack of to someone else's, make sure you are also comparing their previous life experiences, the things that they have already done, that they have already accomplished or failed at, because that has everything to do with it. Okay, so we are also mentally, emotionally, everything, preparing ourselves for the next level. And I want every single one of you to remember this, because I've been talking to a lot of people and they're like, a month in and like, I'm not motivated. Maybe this isn't for me. I thought I was going to get a paycheck sooner. Like, no, first of all, you can't compare yourself to how fast I got my paychecks, because you don't know how much I struggled with my previous life realities, my previous businesses. Also, you cannot compare it to the job you currently have. Yes, the job you currently have is paying you every Friday, as they should. You are working for them. You're employed. But the job you currently have is not building that next and best version of you. Here, you're getting that next and best version of you, and it comes with a paycheck. So it does not get any better than that. By the way, I am not.
No, you creating the better, best version of you does not come with a paycheck in Monat. Again, you only get paid if you recruit or sell. Also, why are we generalizing people and saying that, oh, your current job is not doing anything good for you? Why do you think that? Every job has its benefits. Like, even if you hate your job, for example, I hated my job when I used to work in retail, but I was getting really good people skills, some small talk skills that I'm usually not very good at. But even though I hated the job, I still learned a lot of things, and I became better at talking to people. Things like that. Like, why are we saying that all the corporate jobs are not bringing anything good into your life? You're most likely always gonna learn something new, even on a bad job. And what the hell is MLM even gonna do for you? Stop it. You're just gonna brainwash yourself. I feel like, in my personal opinion, when they say personal development, they mean brainwashing. You're just gonna brainwash yourself further into this MLM. That is not personal development, in my opinion.
I'm not saying take it easy and go slow. No, I have always been the queen of urgency. I maybe slowed down for a while, and I'm back now. Like, urgency is key. If you can do it today, like, do it today, but also be realistic, right? If you're giving it your all and things are moving a little slower than they should, it's because there's some inner work that's happening. Now, let's talk about obsessions, and I'm going to read this from the book. When I talk about obsessions, I am talking about those obsessions that are worthy of your attention because they support your purpose. The two are related, but not the same. I was obsessed with getting rich because my purpose was to make sure my family never had to worry, scraping and struggling in the middle class like I did as a kid after my dad died. Purpose is the holy grail of the obsessed. I see purpose as a person's reason for doing something, or the reason for which someone or something even exists. It is the why of all whys and the fuel for your obsessions. So we're not asking you guys to be obsessed with like getting a VIP or getting a market partner. You need to be obsessed with what that VIP and that market partner translates to. Opportunity, confidence, changing people's lives, changing your family's life. Like, getting a VIP is so freaking amazing. I'm so
You are changing people's lives for the worse, in my opinion, because you're recruiting people into a product-based pyramid scheme, in my opinion, where they're not gonna make any money. You're most likely not making any money either. So you're changing your lives and other people's lives for the worse.
I'm celebrating every VIP I get, but it's further than that. You think I'm obsessed with reaching out? No. You think I'm obsessed with like staying up late? No. But I'm obsessed with what comes from those actions. I am obsessed with feeling proud of myself, with having my kids feel proud of myself, with having security for my family. I'm obsessed with other people telling me, like, Joe, money is changing my life. So I know a lot of us struggle with finding our purpose. A lot of us even struggle with finding our niche. Like, we're just thrown into this business and we're like, how do we even figure out what our purpose is? Some of us think our purpose is to only be a mom. I used to think that, like, my purpose is to be a mom. That's what I'm meant to do. And yes, I am, but there's more to that. So he actually gave an exercise, and I've been doing it for 3 days now, and it's really freaking cool. Like, just how much you can learn and how much you can discover about yourself if you just try. So this is to figure out your purpose. I think I'm going to read through some of them, but I'll write all of these in the chats and your leaders can forward them to you. Or if you want to get the book, you can get the book yourself. But it's basically questions that you're going to ask yourself every single day. When you start answering these questions, do not second guess yourself. Answer the question with the first response that comes to you, without any judgment and without trying to figure anything out, especially how you are going to arrive at the answer. That's a huge problem we have. We see a goal, we want $500, we want MMB, we want to retire from our jobs, and we are so caught up with how that's going to happen. And it seems so far-fetched that fear paralyzes you and you do not get started. Do not worry about the how. So he breaks down the questions into different categories. There's personal interest, motivation, skills and talents, market research, legacy, inspiring people, lifestyle. Let's do personal interest and money motivation. So personal interest, and you're supposed to answer these every day, 1 or 2 words. And this is just it's like brain dumping to help you figure out what it is that you want to do. What excites me now? What is so exciting to me? I would do anything to accomplish it. What bores me? What is the thing or things I have always wanted to do? What don't I want to do, no matter the payoff? What do I do that causes me to forget to eat? What have I been interested in since childhood? Guys, I have felt this when I am hardcore working my business. I look down, I'm like, it's 4 p.m. and I have not eaten. And maybe some of you here can relate. Like these questions really make you think, like figure out, like just quick, the first thing that comes to you, what excites you? Write it down every single day. And you're going to see a pattern in your answers. And that's going to help you see clearly what your purpose is. Money motivation. What am I willing to do for no money? So if you are not getting paid for it, what are you willing to do? And think bigger than money. This is not just money. This is anything. What would I like to do for a lot of money? If money had nothing to do with my life, what would I do with my time? What amount of money would give me the security I need? What amount of money would I need to have choices? That's a huge one for me. The fact that I can decide everything and anything about my life. What amount of money would I need to have financial freedom? What amount of money would I need to really make a difference for the better? Okay. And let's do one more. Let's do skills and talents, and then I'll send all of them on the chats. What can I do better than anyone? There's something that you are better than all of us here. What are some of my native skills? What have I always been good at? What have I always been bad at? What skills or talents do I have that I ignore? What am I terrible at and should not be doing at all? What do I do that is a complete waste of my time and talent? In what areas do others think more of my abilities than I do? What are the skills I need to develop? Okay.
What am I doing that is a complete waste of my talents and skills? I would like to add or answer this for all the people who are participating in MLMs. It's MLM. It's the MLM that you're doing. It's a complete waste of your time, your talents. You can do so much better. You can do anything else that's actually going to pay you, especially like if you're doing it for the money, if you need the money. Anything else you do instead of the MLM is a better option, because you're never gonna make any profit in an MLM. You're just gonna work for free. And yes, that is an absolute waste of your talents.
So again, there's more questions. We're talking about inspiring people. We're talking about legacies, lifestyles, what makes me feel good, what gives me energy, what bad habits do I need to stop, all of that. And you guys know the answers to all of this. It's just hard to call yourself out on it. Okay? Altogether, your purpose is composed of what constitutes a complete life for you. Now, that's one exercise that I've adapted from this book. The second one that I've adapted, and I actually adapted it before even reading this book, and now that I'm reading, I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing this and it's been working. It's daily goal practice. Okay. So I'm reading. Goals are something you seek to achieve, whereas purpose is the reason you do something. In order to stay obsessed with your true purpose, you need to be obsessed with setting and hitting your goals and continuing to feed your future. So you guys know what happened to me when I kind of like got lazy with my business? I stopped writing down my goals. Writing down your goals at the beginning of the year or once a month is not enough. You need to figure out how you work best. I work best pen to paper. I need to have a planner. I am not well with technology. I don't no, I've tried it all and I suck. So it's been years since I had my planner. When I was a wedding planner, I lived by my planner and I took that planner with me everywhere and I had my whole life written on it. And when I started Monat, I was like that too. And little by little, you get complacent, you get lazy, and you stopped. And as of this year, January 1st, I got myself a planner again. I wrote down my goals for the entire year. I love this planner because I love the way it's broken down. Then I wrote my goals for every single month because you know what? When I went back to look at my goals from last year, I missed so many of those goals because I simply forgot I had written them down. And I'm not just talking money. I'm talking financial goals. I'm talking goals with my husband. I'm talking goals with like our home, like everything. So I wrote all my goals for the year. Then I broke it down by months. Then I broke it down by weeks. And then I broke it down by days. And the amount of productivity and results that I have had in the first 23 days of this year is actually crazy. And it's taking me back to when I started my business. So if you're starting today, I want you to take this with you. I know it probably sounds like a lot, and we just stretched it out because we wanted to dive a little deeper into it. But I want you guys to find your purpose and to get organized. Okay? This business can and will change your life if you allow it to. And I'm tired of seeing people quit prematurely because they don't believe in themselves.
They're not quitting prematurely. If you're working for a few months and you are not making any profit, and then you see the income disclosure statement, which shows that the majority of people never make any profit regardless of how long they try to work this business, you should absolutely quit. It's never too early to quit an MLM. You shouldn't even join an MLM, in my opinion. People are quitting for a good reason. A lot of the people go into debt in an MLM as well, so kitty cat. Yeah, to me, this just screams they are desperate. People are leaving, and this is just like a desperation move to try and get people to stay longer.
Themselves because they have blurred vision, because they don't know why they're doing this. And then my favorite is that it's so easy to give yourself an excuse. And Grant talked about it in this book too. Like, you're complacent. I don't need any more money. I don't need a bigger house. I don't need it. No, yes, you do. Everyone wants more. I don't care what you say. You're lying to yourself. If someone went and told you, hey, I'm going to gift you $5 million, you're going to say, no, I'm okay with my $50,000 a year. No, you're not.
Well, it's different if someone wants to give you $5 million. Of course, you're not going to say no to a $5 million as a gift. And everyone wants to hustle and scam people in an MLM to get $5 million a year. Like I said, going back to the fact that the majority of people never make any profit in an MLM. So yeah, your 50K salary is actually a really good salary, at least for Europe. It's a lot better than working for free in an MLM.
Because it's not just about the money. It's about what the money can do for you, for your family, for charity, for those people around you. So if you're just starting off and you're confused, or if you've been here for so long and you're confused and you're stuck and you're not ranking up, before you go to sleep tonight, figure out what your purpose is, or at least start trying to dig deep into it. When you have a purpose, our job, because Monet is so freaking simple. When you have a purpose, your job will come so easy. You will know exactly what to post, when to post it, how to talk to your potentials, because it is not forced. Because there is a bigger purpose than just that VIP or that $15 paycheck. Okay? Angie, do you want to add anything?
No, that pretty much covers it all. I think it's perfect. It's just setting those goals and celebrating those small wins, like I mentioned earlier.
Okay, and someone has a hand up. I don't know if they have a question. And digging into that purpose. Okay, so we invite you guys to do that exercise tonight. I'm going to send a picture of all the questions in the chat. If you want to get this book, I highly, highly recommend it. I'm not gonna say I am or I'm not a fan of Grant. I don't know. I just picked up this book and it's freaking blowing my mind because
Podcast is great, by the way. Love his podcast.
his podcast, I've never heard anything. I've never read anything about him, honestly. I know who he is, but that's about it. But I feel like I picked it up at the perfect time in my life and in my business. And I want to share this with you guys because if I can avoid you 5 years of trial and error, I will. And you will be successful in this business if you're passionate enough about where you want to go.
No, that is not true because you are joining a business as an independent contractor, by the way. It's not your own business. You're not your own boss. You're joining a business where statistically it's proven that the majority of people never make any profit. The business model is unethical, in my opinion, and it's set up so that the majority of people are going to fail. So it doesn't matter how passionate you are. It doesn't matter how clear you see your future, your goals, your stuff. You're never going to make it. you're never gonna make it unless you have a big following on social media, or if you manage to grow your social media while you're doing Monat, and then you can recruit all of those new followers and fans that you're getting. Then maybe you can get successful, you can rank up. In reality, otherwise, you have 99% of chances of never making any profit. None of this matters. You're not gonna make any profit in it.
Because when you have the passion and you have the vision, you will do the posting, you will do the reaching out, you will do the follow-up. I don't remember the last time I would lose sleep over enrolling new VIPs. And I've been doing that this month, staying up, helping with the sale. Like, I'm not going to sleep until you sign up because I'm passionate. It's not about the customer. It's about what comes after that. So I hope you guys got a little bit of perspective. Hopefully after this call, you can reflect and get more clarity.
All right, we've heard enough. I'm done with Joe and her, in my opinion, manipulation tactics. I think there's a bunch of BS. Again, I think they're desperate and they're really desperately trying to motivate people to not leave Monat. And there's a bunch of BS. But you guys let me know down below what you thought about this. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button if you'd like to support my channel. That's a nice free way that you can do that. And as always, big shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.